Core TV News now provide a platform for live coverage of political rallies and electioneering campaign from anywhere in Nigeria. Political news stories, political editorial reviews, political discussions, personality profile, People's Parliament from the National, State and Local Government Assembly. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733. 01453-3407.
Our 24-hour news station.
Welcome back to Core Digest, and on this second segment we are taking a look at the Chibok girls affair. It's been 63 days in captivity for the over 200 girls being held by the Boko Haram terrorists. And everyone had been asking, when will these girls be released? Or what should be done, even by the government, for the release of these over 200 girls being held in captivity? 63 days gone. Over the past week, the former president Olusegun Obasanjo did say the government has refused to take up the offer of himself acting as a negotiator with Boko Haram. In the last few days as well, we hear the American lawmakers who are in Nigeria asking that the government is yet to give a go-ahead on what the lawmakers are here to improve or find a way of getting to negotiate or get these girls back. The British government have said they intend to improve relationship with the Nigerian army as to helping out in ways and means in tackling such insurgencies as the Boko Haram. That is the issue in this second segment. And we still have our guest, and we've been joined by yet another Otumba Olabode Oseni, who is a political analyst and media strategist as well. We still have in the house Gbenga Onoiga, who is an NUJ bigwig, should I say, a political editor for so many years and a just retired deputy director, network news of FRCN in Abuja. Gentlemen, you're welcome again.
Thank you. Good morning for having me.
And just before we start rolling in the second segment of the show, very quickly, you may want to drop us a line on any of our social media platforms. Our identity on Facebook is facebook.com/CoreTVNews. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, our handle is @CoreTVNewsNG. You may want to check us out also on YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV. You leave a space, then you type news. That's how to reach us, so you can have your say. You can directly reach us through any of these social media platforms right on the show.
Yes, it's been over 63 days of these girls being held hostage, and the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, has warned that half of nearly all these girls have been held by the extremist Boko Haram in Borno State may never be found, despite the ongoing rescue process. Let's start with you, Otumba Oseni.
Thank you very much, Shay. I want to start by looking at the state of mind of the abductees and then also the state of mind of their parents. It is a very sad situation. And I also want to say that in order to find an effective solution to this problem, I think there is a need to generate a synergy now. A synergy where it's going to be the brains of the intelligence, the military, all the people that can be brought together to find a solution today, 63 days on. You and I need to start asking ourselves questions. If your daughter or his daughter is one of these abducted girls, how will you be feeling inside your house now? So it is a situation where I believe, and this is not a direct attack or indictment on the government, I think we've not done enough. How on earth can we allow this kind of thing to continue to reign in our society, in our polity? 286 girls abducted 63 years ago. 63 days ago. And up to now, we do not know exactly what is going on. Yes, we may not know exactly what is going on because we are public, but if the people who are supposed to be to take action are doing something, it shouldn't take 63 days. All the necessary tools, all what the federal government of this country, and they can work with other governments, they can work with other authorities, they have what they need. They have all the necessary tools they can use to rescue. And I remember also on this program, a couple of weeks ago, that I said, why should issue of Boko Haram be the major issue in this country? There are many other problems in this country, and most of the causes of this problem, we beg for it, we call for it. You cannot permanently neglect the people. I repeat, the people. You cannot neglect the people to the level people are being neglected in this country, denied of everything. You create an area where people in that part of our country have virtually access to nothing. You create Almanjeri, you create so many things that make them so easy. For them, they have no other alternative but to follow Almanjeri. To follow these Boko Haram people. And that's why even if we finally manage to rescue our girls, we must do everything to sit down and face solution to problem of poverty in this country. You cannot generate so many poverty at different levels and then you expect governance to be good. It's not going to happen.
Let's hold you there.
Now, talking about state of mind, the state of mind of these girls and the state of mind of their parents. I also want to think of the state of mind of the teachers as well.
Well, anyway, they're included in the parents. Yeah.
Yes, anyway. Now, at some point, we heard a story of their being sick. And I said they had been sick from day one.
Yes.
Now, what on earth do you think could have happened to them anyway? It could be speculations, but I just want us to sort of brainstorm on this table. What do you think could be their state at the moment?
Terrible, horrible. Can you borrow me some of that? It's unimaginable. Put yourself in the position of those. I was just watching the screen now, and I could read in the faces of those girls. That fear and. Well, and again, I also cited on the right-hand side one of the guys holding a gun. These are innocent girls. They've done nothing bad to this country. They don't deserve the kind of situation, kind of treatment the Nigerian nation and some so-called terrorists. Thank God everybody is saying terrorists now. When this whole thing started, some of us who use that word, we know what we went through. While some of our colleagues, when we talk about Boko Haram, they're everywhere. The way some people talk about Boko Haram, it's obvious that they have their way, they will support them. In the sense that, let's call a spade a spade. Terrorism is terrorism. You cannot force people, for goodness sake, to join your religion. But when the whole thing started, because it didn't affect some of us, we relaxed, and now it's overwhelming us. It's everywhere. See what happened in Owerri yesterday, Owerri, of all places, in the southeastern part of this country. Those of us in Lagos, we just say we are praying to God Almighty that it doesn't happen. It dare not happen. But the reality is that we should all be on guard. If you see anything that is suspicious, any movement that is suspicious, for goodness sake, must raise an alarm, because nobody's obvious now that we are all not safe. We are not safe. And when I say we are not safe, I know what I'm talking about. Apart from being a journalist or whatever, I was privileged to have done a course in counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency at the Command and Staff College. I was one of the very first set of journalists, just first journalists, that joined that chief officer's course. You know, in summary, to answer your question pointedly, sincerely, those guys, the girls must be pitied, and this is not the time for, you know, passing the buck, blaming his government, is this, is that. All of us must come up with ideas on how to solve this problem. If government is not doing enough, let's engage them constructively. But let them nobody. From my own little experience and interaction and study of terrorism across the globe, for goodness sake, let's avoid the use of force. Yeah, I know I won't be the first to say that, because the lives of these girls are, I mean, they're very, very important. Let us not play any funny game. Let's engage. You saw what happened between the US and the terrorists in Afghanistan, I think, recently. I mean, for goodness sake, we can explore that option and get these girls out first. Then we can now do whatever. But let us not try anything funny in terms of rescue and then waste the lives of these girls. And about the media, we'll talk to ourselves maybe later. We have one or two observations about the way some sections of the media handle this issue of terrorism. That is how it is done in some other civilized democracies. We should be very careful. We should be very, very, very sensitive. All of us, we must talk with one voice. The moment in summary again, the moment you keep giving publicity, good publicity to these terrorists, suddenly they will keep doing all this nonsense. We should resolve to give them a complete blackout. If possible, it's done in some other parts of the world, and I know we can do it in Nigeria. They are enjoying publicity. That's why they're doing this nonsense.
Let me direct this to you, Gbenga. It's again, they say the government is refusing to give some people the right to go ahead and, if need be, negotiate, as it were. But the government's own strategy, however it is, whatever it is they are doing, even though now they are no longer telling anyone what their strategy is, but nothing is forthcoming. 63 days gone.
I don't think, I'm not here to speak for government anyway, but I doubt if any responsible government will fold its arms and allow things to go this way. This is security matter. It's not something we discuss so openly. I can't tell you my strategy as a president, as a governor, if I want to solve this problem. The moment you open your mouth and say, then you forget it. You cast your mind back to what happened, I think it's in Philippines, some years back, when ambassadors of so many countries were meeting at the office of, I think, Minister of Foreign Affairs or something like that, and then they were kidnapped. Not kidnapped, what's the right word now?
Abducted.
Yes, sort of.
Sort of. The government of Philippines was engaging them, they were talking, but behind the scene, they were busy digging a big hole. Got the plan of that building, and before you know it, they just struck right at the middle of that house, and they rescued those diplomats. That is how things are done. So for goodness sake, I don't think we should just sit back and expect God to tell you all his strategies, although it's taking so long, really. But I don't think that government will just fold its arms or those in power in Abuja and allow this thing to continue. That is how it is done. That is how it is done.
Your reaction, Otumba?
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Mr. Gbenga. We shouldn't play with the lives of people the way we do in this country. And I have said that repeatedly. And I also said in my initial reaction that this is a business for experts. And that's why I said a synergy should be formed. If we genuinely, and I'm really sorry to say this, the pressure has to be put more and more on the government. This is not a case of we going to Marabu or Babalawo or whatever. This is a government business. They need to finish it because, like I said, because of the problem, they know about it. And also, they also have the resources. MI5, CIA, different organizations, we can bring them if we genuinely want to pursue getting these people out. And I'm sure that's exactly what you're also trying to say. In terms of we can do more. So if caution is not taken, we'll be sitting here and counting another 10 days, 73 days. God forbid. And like I said, and the state of mind of these children. Rumor will say some of them have been bastardized, abused, and so on and so forth. How long are we going to continue with this kind of situation? And also, we also need to look at the problem their parents have, the kind of nightmare they are going through. Let's put ourselves in their shoes.
Nightmare.
So the point I'm trying to make here is we can solve this problem if we want to solve the problem. We should not keep giving the impression that it is so difficult. What is so difficult in it? There are more daring situations in the world. You just giving us an example of the Philippine one. There are more situations where Israeli or different people have gone to rescue their people. They've gone there to rescue one person with the battalion of about 800 people. So let us be realistic here. What are we talking about? We're talking about of lives. And again, I keep going back to issue of how much premium do we put on human beings in this country.
But again, let's be factual about this. The Nigerian army came out and said, we know, we don't want to put the girls' life in jeopardy because the role of engagement was important.
Yeah.
The way the insurgencies are, we know from a general is saying you don't expect these girls to be together anyway, which is a fact from Chief Olusegun Obasanjo that these girls are segmented all over the place. But having said that, what should we expect? Without being speculating, what should we expect of the government, if at all? I mean, 63 days gone. We hope it's not 73, that something will happen. It took U.S. lawmakers to come into Nigeria to say, please, help us because we want to help you. And nothing is forthcoming from the government. Binga.
I think you should answer that question.
It's the same thing. Thank you very much, Mr. Gbenga. I want to say this again. It shows the type of government we have. And I'm sorry, I'm not being directly whatever to the government, with all due respect. It shows clearly, because like I said, the logistic argument of our military experts in this country is tenable. You can agree.
Yeah.
They say, well, even when you capture 4 or 5 people and you want to make whatever out of it, you don't put them together. It's very silly. You understand me? So I agree. But again, like Mr. Gbenga said, these are part of the thing that it should not be issue for us, for people like you and I on the street. It should be something they are doing behind.
Clandestinely.
Yes. They find a solution. At the end of the day, is it you and I that are going to go there and get these girls? So if they should do a complete blackout and do what they have to do, we are just wasting time. We are just talking and talking. They're not doing anything. And I'm sorry to say that.
Okay, now, okay, you have a reaction to that?
Yeah, I just remember the way Americans, picked up Osama bin Laden without saying a word.
At all.
Without saying a word.
Yeah.
And after the whole thing, I mean, they came out, the US government explained what they could explain. And certain things they didn't even tell us up to today. Atlanta, even the American president, they didn't even tell his wife or something like that. He kept the information to himself.
Double check until when he's 100%. Yeah.
That is security.
Yeah.
Now
the problem with us is natural. That will be restless. I can say Otuba, he just symbolizes a typical parent, a typical Nigerian. Is reflecting the views of an average Nigerian, which I quite agree with. I'm also restless. I saw even my daughter this morning, and I was seeing the Chibok team, girls. Oh my God, in her. What if this had happened to my daughter? You see, so I understand how they will feel. However, I want to believe that something is being done. It's just like it's on like a conventional warfare, We don't want to lose one single soul among these girls. And again, I think there should be a consensus among those of us in the media, even political analysts and what have you. Once we are, for instance, I'm just back from Abuja retirement and everything. A few days of retirement, I know certain meetings. I had the network editorial unit of Radio Nigeria, and along with some other editors and everything, I think we're just 16 of us. We were kept somewhere, top security briefing. Let us into certain things. I'm not obliged to say a single word, because we're taken into confidence. We're carried along. And that's how it is done in civilized societies. So that before I write anything on Boko Haram and everything, I have privileged information that I'm not obliged to even
disclose to the public.
So we need more of such interaction, so more of such a briefing. You see, what we all want is the solution, is result. Free these girls, get these girls out. If you could adopt the one he suggested, good. If it could, you know how long it took for America to negotiate for the swapping, I think, of that
one soldier for five Afghanistan.
Yeah.
You know, so I want to believe something. It's just that God, let us speak with one voice, and I'm happy we are speaking with one voice, and condemn Boko Haram. I know in this country there was a time when people were even arguing that we shouldn't call them Boko Haram. They are Nasi. This is one long and winding name like that. Terrorism is terrorism.
Anyway,
terrorism is terrorism. I wish I could say what I saw live and direct, and I couldn't watch half of what I saw. I felt, I cried. I couldn't eat for a whole day.
Now,
you know, so that is what I'm just trying to say. For goodness, let's stop passing the ball. Let's stop politicizing this thing. If I have an idea, sincerely, if I have an idea, like we're discussing informally before we came on air, that what are the Babalawos doing? What are the spiritualists doing? If it requires engaging them, I hope my pastor will pardon me.
No,
just to get these girls out. Out from us, I suggested that.
Yes, let us use Shokmono and Ekpe to go to South Africa and free Zimbabwe.
Are you going to help with that, Shay? Are you going to help with that?
To get Shokmono and Ekpe to free. No, now, if it takes that, I don't see a problem. But we in Nigeria, with all of our spiritual consciousness, why are we still in the position we are in?
Now, the enlightenment coming from this table is quite appreciated. I really appreciate it. I want to say that we're now advocating that there should be a blackout and less publicity for the Boko Haram terrorists, knowing that whatever the government will have to do, the government will have to handle this in a way that shows that it's a delicate diplomatic duty. We quite appreciate that. But also, considering the temperament of an average Nigerian, being so restless, wouldn't the same Nigerians come back to say the government isn't telling us anything, and because of that, then we're not sure the government is doing anything about it?
Let me take you on that. There's so many things government is doing that openly, blatantly, that's not in favor of the ordinary people anyway. They still get away with so many things. The people are denied of so many things, and they cannot do anything about it. So if government chooses tomorrow and say, like his rightly suggested, and I agree with him, that we're going to do a kind of a blackout. Don't let us, if they don't want us to know what they're doing, as long as they're genuine, doing something about it. Because in many civilized countries, there are many ways they address issue of terrorism. I remember very well in the UK, for years, they black out the IRA,
yes,
and gradually they start opening their lead on them. But they talk, you cannot hear them. Here we have a situation here in this country where the Boko Haram chief talks anyhow, behaves anyhow, make us to see that how dare you
so
standing behind the most latest weapons, anti-missile and displaying this is offensive. This is insulting on the people of this country.
Absolutely.
Let us be realistic here.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry. I hope they are listening and they're watching this program. They could do more.
Could there be a fifth columnist?
There are fifth columnists all over. And that's another problem. There are fifth columnists. That's why I said we should speak. We should be sincere. Speak with one voice. If not so, to get this. I just pray it doesn't happen the way I see it. I mean, see Imo Weri, Church Winners Chapel, for goodness sake. Thank God, and many. You may also like to know this we were told, and I believe, because we have doubted opposition. Anything government, some people just condemn. Tomorrow they get there, they do worse things. That's the irony of it. I'm not one of those who just sit back and government bad. We still have some. If security agencies let me to something, the number of bombs they call it, they've detonated. I mean, we just saw the one in Owerri. You can imagine if that thing had exploded, the number of lives. So in other words, in fact, I'm not talking about Lagos. For goodness sake, government should embark on an aggressive campaign, enlightenment campaign, in the markets, in the churches and everything, so that everybody will be aware. I was in the plane the other day from Lagos to Abuja, and there was this young man beside me at a stage, midway, he was getting restless. He would do like this, would do like that. I was ready to die. That is it.
You did make some prayers?
I made prayers. I was, because I remember what happened the other time with this Mutalab.
Yes.
You see the way the patrons grabbed him and nothing happened. You must. So I just had to say, young man, are you okay? Sincerely. Because I was ready to grab him. He said, I raised an alarm. I will not allow him to waste my life. I will not. I'm just setting a practical example. This happened just 2 weeks ago, and the guy had to say, "No, sorry, I'm having headache. I'm having this thing," because he was behaving funny. He was behaving funny.
Well, what are you afraid of? You've had a good days.
Well, maybe from my little training and exposure in counter-terrorism. So these are the little things.
People should watch out.
People should watch out.
Yes.
We should not wait until the worst happens. If
But
let's take Owerri. It can happen anywhere.
Let's take this issue of press blackout very sincerely. But before we go on to that, you want to?
Yeah,
to
we're getting messages right away from
Ogbomoso.
Yes, this is coming from Ogbomoso. Michael Kone saying there is no right or wrong strategy. There is no strategy, period. Let us not fool ourselves. The Nigerian conscience has become hardened over time. The government that simply does not care, and the people that simply want to survive. When humanity adapts so easily to evil, the essence of the society is lost. We're just anteos of the savannah, governed into stupor by savage hope-killing cabal. Okay, you could say so.
Should we have a blackout of sorts?
Some strong words.
I'm not a security expert.
No. We're just espousing it because government strategy is needed. Every day, government is. Let me not use the word force to come out with. I almost said Aruma Ote. What's the lady for SSS that comes out to tell us that we have just done this? Marilyn Orga. Marilyn Orga. Sorry, Aruma Ote. We are not talking stock exchange now. Marilyn Orga comes to say, we are doing this. We have just done this. This is the number of people we are arrested, and so forth. Should that be the kind of blackout we are talking about, and even more, from the fourth estate of the realm?
A little bit of that. But what I was trying to suggest here is if governments want to take serious action, and I want to use the word again, genuine serious action, I have no doubt in my mind that efforts are being made. But I find it difficult that with the amount of resources available to us, to government in this country, that we cannot use that resources so effectively to achieve the goals of solving the problem. I suggested here, again, we could get in touch with countries that have been through this kind of thing before. We could use the expertise. An average man on the street does not want to know how you do it. They just want the result. And that's why I'm saying again that if we agree, if government wants to do it, a 1 week blackout will not kill Nigeria. Nigeria will not go to it. You understand me? We can survive it. Just tell us, you know what, we want to achieve something within a week. How they go about it, you understand me, should be their strategy. But they can form a synergy, you understand me, of people who have been there, who have similar problem experience, get them together. You said it in your introduction also, that we had a case of the American, at one time we were told they are going to come and help. The MI5 or MI16 or whatever are coming to help. What happened? Do you tell me they couldn't? I don't know. Again, like I said, I'm just an ordinary Nigerian here, but I would have thought that with inviting these people, unless otherwise there's something gone wrong somewhere, that they were not able to do what they wanted to do, because we should have gotten a result. They have even bigger problem than Boko Haram in their hands, and they still find a way of solving it. So again, I want to say, I'm suggesting, even though I'm not a security expert, but I'm suggesting that if there's a blackout applied, you can do certain things quickly within that short period. Because here again, we have a situation, billions of taxpayers' money has been expended in this project. Committee upon committee, commissions, extension, and all that kind of things have and cost taxpayers billions. What is the result? Show me the result of all these billions expended on this.
Let's hold you there.
Now, looking at the Freedom of Information and Freedom of Information Bill, Freedom of Information Act and law, would you still say creating a blackout will be a workable situation? Would that be a workable situation?
No absolute freedom anywhere in the world. We are talking about national security.
Exactly.
It's only if we have a country called Nigeria that we can talk about freedom of the press. I'm an advocate. We know the role we played in the struggle for FOI bill. I mean, so it's not as if we love it, it's good. We are talking about social responsibility. These things go with social responsibility. We are patriots as a journalist, and I can assure you that if the media is engaged, constructively, I mean, will really help. Will cooperate. That I know. The media should be carried along. We should be taken to confidence. We shouldn't be seen as people belong to the other side. They want to bring government down. They want to this and that. No.
That's why we're fought a state of the realm anyway.
That is it. So FY or no FY. And mind you, FY exempts issue of security. There are exemptions.
Indeed.
Security, national, foreign affairs,
yes,
and stuff like that. So that's nothing to do with that. But even without talking about FY or whatever, without using provisions or government, using the provisions there, we on our own, that's what I'm talking about, we on our own can resolve or can even move to government. What do we do? What do you expect of us to find a way out of this? And I know that some sections of the media, they are trying that, but we need to involve everybody so that we give a complete blackout to these murderers. They are murderers. They are terrorists. They have no two names about it. Shekau or no Shekau.
All right. Let's take this very last one on our Facebook page. From Simbiat Akinkotu in Oyo, how can a government that cannot strategically place an emir in Kano or strategically protect the First Lady from being made a laughingstock be strategically equipped to rescue the abducted girls? Don't you think we are deliberately asking too much from Jonathan just so that we can laugh him to scorn? If you want these girls found, please don't rely on our president. Let us do what we can on our own. Otherwise, these girls will never be found. On that pessimistic view, I don't think, rather pessimistic, I want to say a big thank you to you gentlemen for being here, because time is so very, very vital to us. And we know that, and we hope too, that when next we call on you, you will oblige us. We've been discussing the issue of waiting for the federal government's right to rescue, right of a rescue strategy. Who wants this position to be given, go ahead and negotiate on behalf of the people of Nigeria. Well, could it be the Olusegun Obasanjo's arm of getting things done, or the American legislators who came to say they are still waiting for government? Even Nigerians are waiting for government. But something has to give. All we need, 63 days gone, we need the girls back. From all of us, we wish you well, and we do hope you will put this in mind. If nothing at all, at least we know how to pray. Let us pray that we get a release of these girls very soon.
And from me, global challenges are poverty, global warming, HIV/AIDS, and terrorism. Today, we took a look at terrorism. 63 days in captivity. He who laughs last, laughs best. Let's see who laughs last in this case. I'm Tolu Ojelome. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, because on top of that, we'll bring in the news and the app.
Core TV News presents a platform with presence in over 30 states of the Federation. Be sure to be had. For live coverage of events, we have the capacity to deliver from anywhere in Nigeria and beyond. Contact us now on 0803 471 8550 or 0803 724 9733 014 533 407.
A 24-hour news station